ka. Wala yung nagpuyo ng balaya. Sayang ang mga bahay.
It's owned by ABP, the Associated British Ports. Completely unstaffed now. Although if anything happens to it, they are very quick to come out and repair it. So somebody broke a window the other month, and within days they were out and had repaired it. It's quicker for them. They're based in Immingham, so they just come over in a boat, moor it at the jetty, get out, come and do what they need to do. This bit at the front and this bit at the side are completely new, but there's a little bit of metal at the bottom, and round the back somebody's parked the bikes there, and there's a lot of, not rubbish, but a lot of things that we haven't got anywhere to store, so they get stored in there. But behind there, the bricks for the low bits of the buildings are the same bricks as they used in these barrack buildings, so it dates them as World War One. Also, our military historian Simon, who comes and digs, has a map of all the buildings, all the First World War. If you've got massive feet or big feet, I find it easier. I've got size 8 feet, but that's quite big, I suppose, for a lady. I tend to go down with them diagonal, I find that easier. There is a spongy bit if you are tall, not ridiculous, but tall. Just watch your head, but it should be a nice soft if you do hit it. If you're scared of the dark, we are down there for a very short amount of time. Just look to the light at the end of the tunnel. I apologise, I'm going now. If you've got a light on your phone and you want to put that on, please feel free. It's not that bad. But there's the cabling, just here. So it's obviously perfectly safe. It's not connected to anything, so you can touch it and have a feel. And always one.
Cable on the wall. Oh my god. It's a bit spongy, the soil. Oh my god, gosh. Sun, yeah. Oh, dilim. Halaka. Oh my. Where is my light? I'm looking my light. And dilim. We have to go here, guys. Light now. Ayan guys, yung tunnel pala dito.
The spider's caught a fly in his web. I was just watching him spin it round.
Well, it's lunchtime after all.
It is lunchtime, yeah.
Lunchtime.
Oh, he's got something else. In a searchlight bunker. And we've come through a searchlight access tunnel. So on the parade ground, the bit we've just walked across, there would have been huts and things like that with all sorts of soldiers in and what have you. So if there was a shout and you needed to get to your post and you were the searchlights or worked on the searchlights, it might have been easier and safer to come through the tunnel rather than the trenches that were running about the side. This is a First World War structure. At some point, probably between the military moving off in the late 50s and the road washing away in 2013, people have come down to Spurn and stolen the steel, because end of the Second World War, times were incredibly hard, and if you had the ability to come down in some kind of vehicle with some kind of equipment to cut off bits of steel and iron and go and weigh it in with a scrapyard, it's putting food on your table. So what's happened here is that this big block of concrete has been dropped through the ceiling. The rest of the ceiling is in place, just on the floor, so that you could free up the girders to cut the girders holding the ceiling up out. And then there would have been a track running all the way around. We've got it at the bottom here. and it goes all the way around, because your searchlight, it was a twin searchlight, so there were two lights on one kind of rotating platform. That will do. I couldn't remember the word, so that would do. And you would have metal doors so that you wouldn't let any of the elements, any of the rain or anything like that, or any enemies damage your bulbs, because electricity, and that was really expensive. Your bulbs would have been massively expensive as well. Anybody like to guess what the material was?
Is it SPURN mineral oxide?
No. The outside was actually lead, and each, if you think about when you take the back off a plug, you've got 3 cables. Probably would have just been the 2 then, the live and the neutral, but it was insulated with paper and sewn into the paper, because there was no plastic at that point. Plastic was in its infancy even in World War II, so quite nice that we've got a bit of lead and things, although obviously not, because it can be a bit dodgy.
Maliit lang pala itong bunker nito. The bunker is not really bad. Rumble. Berries. Ayan guys.
We've got quite a lot of grass hopping around as well.
Lots of rumble.
We actually accidentally the other day thought we got to one by driving it into the mouth of a common river. Yeah, so we were just stuck here.
Rumble. No rumble.
So I was going, oh look, I'm spreading the crickets, and there was a lizard sat there in it. So, yeah,
Mga bulaklak eh. Dito.
That's where I've seen them both. The first one, like I say, I thought it was a rubber snake because it was just in the middle of the path.
It's warming up.
I don't know, because when I say I drove over it, I didn't drive over it, but my wheels went either side of it. So I drove over it like that, not killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the Udimog. That's why I didn't stop, because I thought, somebody's put a rubber
larger
snake.
outbid than the other.
Yeah,
The grass snake.
yeah.
There's a bramble.
And the one is it smooth.
Mga una tag bramble. Oroy.
There's like snowbirds.
Bramble. Maglakad-lakad tayo.
We don't do it with everything. Basically, because we haven't got enough staff to do it.
Do you get any of the volunteers from the university?
We've got trainees who tend to be people who maybe want to go to university but want a bit of experience, or have decided they want the experience and not going to university. So when we were driving over the beach, one of our other vehicles was
Nice. Yum ito.
Sam.
Ay, pusa. Ayan, kakainin natin to.
They do that October to October. But we don't tend to plot everything because there's just too much. This is quite a nice spot to, it's sort of at the right height to see one of the hibernating structures, and if you look inside you can see
Lots of
tiny weeny little caterpillars.
caterpillar.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't advise touching them because they might
It's
cause
itchy.
that skin irritation, but it's quite nice to see.
Oh, it's cute.
And then also the orange berries as well, so you can see on here
Orange berry.
just how many berries we get.
Put light on.
Yes, yeah.
There's a
I
caterpillar.
bought some face cream that's with
Caterpillar.
buckthorn berries in it. I've not tried them because I'm a bit of a chicken. But apparently you can. And
Battery up, leaving us. Don't want to get lost here.
Yeah. There are lots of bramble.
yeah.
Oh, there's another bunker there. It's another one. Maybe a little only. They can hide their guns. Iko. Okay, ano na tayo dito guys. Oh. Daming bunker pala dito. Oh, mayroon din bunker dito.
Sorry, Ellen. Sorry. You're all right.
Akyat tayo dito.
Yeah.
After that.
Okay.
So bits get thinner, and bits get fatter. So as some bits are getting eroded away, more get deposited on. I think it's moving westward.
The twin 6-pounder guns power viewpoint. This is a. You can see the enemy here.
As well. But by the wind turbines, you can see Pale Sand Fort, which is the one at the north-east Lincolnshire side. So imagine that with basically a set of gates and some submarine booms out, so that you had a physical barrier to be able to get through. So you had to give a signal to somebody at the Port War signal station. If you look just to the left over here, or my left, your right if you stood over that side, you can see these brick structures. So these were blast walls. So when I didn't mention the crew shelter by the tunnel entrance. So that bit on the right hand side as we were coming out of the tunnel, as we were coming back round, was a crew shelter, like a bomb shelter effectively. And that had areas that would deflect any kind of blast from a bomb or whatever. These were a similar idea. Inside those, there would have been the Nissen huts, those semicircular sort of huts that were prevalent in the Second World War. So those would have been in there, and these brick walls were to hopefully absorb any impact if a bomb landed and went off. They're all at funny angles, simply because Second World War, and it was a twin 6-pounder gun emplacement. So there was this one here, twin, meaning there were 2 barrels on one kind of platform, and there was one the other side as well. There were quick fire guns, so it would fire 72 rounds a minute. So it was what the Navy described as hose pipe fire. So you were just basically flooding whatever, the Humber, with fire. It's quite interesting. It's got 2 little bits, 2 little stops on it, so that you don't, we think, shoot out onto the forts, so that you don't kill your own men. Those, our military expert Simon said he's never seen them on any of the other guns of these kind. So they're unique to Spurn, those 2 sort of, they look like letter J's from here. But they were like, would stop the gun so it couldn't go all the way around, or couldn't fire onto your own men and things. What else was I going to say? There was something else, I'm sure. Oh yeah, if you want to, because this one has been dug out by Simon and his team with shovels and wheelbarrows. If you want to see one that hasn't been dug, bring the Highland Capital down. Once there's more vegetation than that, because they probably strip that in a day. Once there's more than that, the plan is to graze this so that we get meadowland rather than
Cargo.
simpleton and dead elder trees. So if anybody wants to go and have a look, do please. What we're going to do from here is we're going to go down and round. So we're going to follow this path. There's quite a big step up and then a big step down. But if you're all right with that, we're all right with that. And then we're going to walk round to the point. Again, from the point,
The bunker, guys. You have to look the bunker. This is the bunker in Second World War. Second World War II. You can see the enemy coming in the sea. This is a big one, isn't it? There's a berries growing already. There might be lots of ammunition here. Inside, under the ground. Fire the hole! Fire in the hole! Enemy coming! Enemy! There's some enemy coming! You can see the boat coming. Ano, the ship. There. You can see. Dito sa kabila. Ay, history natin pinag-ikot-ikotan eh. Historical place. Historical. Bababa tayo dito sa hagdanan na. Malaki din tong bunker na to pala. Ayan. Wow, where's in there? Is he a big one? Hello. Somebody vandalized already. Ayan guys. Dito nilagay nila mga ammunition dito. Ayan. Bunker. This is World War. Second World War. Second World War. Abandon engineering na to. Abandoned engineering. Ay, nag-ikot-ikot siya dito doon. Punta tayo sa ano. Dito tayo dadaan. Umikot siya doon sa kabila. Ayan, may butterfly. Ayan, dito tayo dadaan guys. Oh. This is Second World War history. Ayan guys, ang bintana. Nakita ang bintana. There might be, this is a, could be the toilet, that one. Huh? It's quite big, eh? Quite big, eh? This area. Diyan eh, tago eh, yung mga ammunition dyan. Malaki, eh? Malaki tong bunker na to. There must be a kuan here. May nag-ano dito, vandalize. Malaki ay. Lagi mabiyaan na tas panon. Maiwanan tayo. Nako, mag-isa ako dito. Ayan guys. Ang kabuuan ng bunker na to. In SPURN POINT bunker. Laka, nawala na mga tao. Naku, Diyos ko Lord. Nasaan na po sila? Hoy, halaka. Iniwan ako, Diyos ko Lord. Nasaan na kayo? Hay, naku, iniwan na ako. Mag-isa ka dito. Mingaw, diba? Wala ba sakyanan dito. Ang daming bramble, oh. Biris. Ayan guys, dito tayo sa kabila. Punta tayo dito, oh. Dito tayo dadaan. Ay, mayroon ditong ganito pala yun. Ayan, oh. Ayan yung enemy, oh. Ayan guys. This is how it looks like before. Ganyan. Second World War. I saw the picture. Did you see it? In the wall.
Yeah.
Oh. Aray, spiky the plant. Spiky guys. Enemy. Haraka. It's a big area ini. It's a big area. It's a big area. Yung bunker. Kakain ng takbrambol, oh. Ayan, kakain ng takbrambol, oh. Ayan, kakainin natin to. Ayan, see. Ayan, kakainin natin. Yum yum. I eat the bramble. The berries. That on. Oh, there, that one. There, loads. There. Ang dami. Ayan, mag-ikot-ikot tayo muna tayo dito, guys. Malaking area, oy. Ang laki ng iikutan. Marami-rami din tayo, ano. Marami-rami din tayo. Isang truck ng safari.
That's how many military structures was down on the end here.
Yeah. It could be loads, innit?
I've always just watched on the peninsula on that thing.
Huh?
Before when we've walked, we've always just walked on the peninsula, haven't we?
Yeah, but this one is massive, innit?
A lot here, isn't there?
Yeah. We didn't know the military base here long time ago. There's a flower. Wildflower. Okay, naon bramble. This is Elsie's favorite. Ayan ang mga bramble, guys. May loads of birds here. You can stay here camping. You can camp one night. Ah, that's a nice bramble, look. Ang kakainin natin to. Ayan.
And then explore it some